and welcome to Teletalk. I'm Liv.
And I'm Ben.
And on this episode you'll hear our carefully considered and not at all random thoughts on a show we like. There will be spoilers.
We're giving ourselves an age rating of 15 and above, but you're welcome to make up your own mind. Listener discretion is advised.
And if you are enjoying our podcast, please do rate, review and subscribe.
If you want to get in contact with us, give us feedback or suggest any shows or episodes to cover, you can contact us on our socials. We're at TeletalkPod, at Blue Sky and on Facebook, and our email address is teletalkpod@outlook.com.
So welcome back to Ben and Liv's Armchair Experting. We are covering Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episode 25. We are on the 5th commitment ceremony.
Yes. Did the podcast name change since the last time?
What do you mean?
Ben and Liv's Armchair Experting.
No, this is like the series of episodes that we're providing.
I swear it's a different name every time we do it.
Well, I like to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
This is actually quite an interesting episode. I quite liked it.
Yeah.
I felt like I got what I needed from it.
Oh, okay. And what was it you needed? Arguments or rectification of arguments?
Oh, well, I was going to say reconciliation.
Ooh.
But yeah, I just felt like the experts did their job this time.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the experts.
Yeah, okay.
They have redeemed themselves.
I'm very much getting the sense that you are not willing to brook argument on this point.
No.
Yes, dear. Let's roll straight into it with Lauren and Clint. They actually turned up.
They did. And they had this kind of breezy act about them. Like, they were playing it cool.
Yeah, and we got yet another artificial late entrance, which I don't like.
It wasn't as bad this time, I didn't think, because it's not like they pretended to get started. Yeah. The door opened almost immediately and they came in together.
Yeah, it was still very hand of the producers evident.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. It was artificial and they shouldn't do it, but I suspect they're going to do it every time now.
Well, I let it go this time. The others I was annoyed about. This one I'm okay with.
Be the pebble. But yeah, it was just weird, this. Like, there's no contrition, no regret, just doubling down on everyone else is worthless and we're amazing.
Well, the experts get straight to Lauren, don't they? They're like, let's go in here and examine this.
Yes.
And I actually thought it went quite well. Lauren seemed to listen eventually, and then almost immediately went back and continued with her problematic behaviour.
Yeah, just can't help herself.
I know.
I enjoyed that when she came in as part of the heckling, she was like, "Did you miss us?" They went, "Not really." Good old Dave. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Also, I feel in an uncomfortable position because fairly early on, she made Adrian seem reasonable.
I know.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. I found myself going, yeah. And I went, wait, that's Adrian. Oh, no.
You don't know what to think now, because actually people are complex.
Two wrongs made a right.
Yeah. He was talking sense, and I loved him interacting in that way with her.
She has even riled up Jeff. Daddy Jeff waded in and was like, look, I gave you all the chances, and you are ruining this for yourself and everyone else. He was one step away from going, it's your own time you're wasting.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God, you've even upset the Jeff.
What I thought was interesting about Lauren and Clint together is that they have teamed up and they both attack the whole group.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And this is sort of like an interesting sort of team working tactic that's sometimes used. Now, I'm going to reference sports for a moment. Yeah.
Fine.
It's oftentimes quite successful teams create this us and them mentality. It's like a tribalistic thing. And it can be quite a unifying thing, but it is also very exclusionary. So I wonder if there's that's happening, like through the situation where Lauren has alienated the entire world, and Clint is like, well, you're either with him or against him, and he's doubled down, and I think he's ended up becoming a hostage to this situation in many ways.
It's interesting because my take on this was that he sacrificed himself for Lauren.
And for what good it will do him.
Yeah, I feel that his opinions that he expresses aren't his. They are hers and they are for her benefit.
Yeah.
But ultimately, she has friend-zoned him. This isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, she's using him as an ally on the show to, I don't know, because she doesn't like anyone else. It's really interesting because even Ryan wades in, is like, I can tell a man that's deluding himself, believe me. And he's like, come on, be honest. You can tell Papa Ryan.
Yeah, but Clint does not go for that. He
No.
stays by Lauren. This is what I mean by sacrificing himself.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like Ryan, Adrian, all of the questionable men are just like, bro.
Well, maybe that shows that they've been learning.
Maybe, or it's just so ridiculous. They're like, even we are upset. I would like to touch on organic.
Right, okay.
That was a word that got thrown around a lot.
Yes, Lauren used this quite a lot, didn't she?
Now, I intended to research this, but spoiler alert, I didn't.
Hang on.
Tappy tap tap tap.
Right, I have the answers for you.
Oh god, it's live.
It's live. Boganic, a slang term particularly used in Australia and New Zealand that essentially means bogan. So then I looked up bogan.
Wow. Was that AI by any chance?
Yes,
Yeah.
hang on. Bogan is also a slang term used in Australia and New Zealand for a person whose speech, clothing, attitude and behaviour are considered unrefined or unsophisticated.
So basically, because you've got that from Google AI, TM, that's the one thing it's not then, right?
No, AI is correct often enough that people trust it.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Should they?
No, they shouldn't.
No. I'm horrified that you're using it.
The thing is, it's the first thing that comes up on Google, so it just saves me having to look any further.
Heaven forbid you have to scroll your eyes down slightly to another field.
Yes, no scrolling was involved.
So basically, in UK terms, it's chavvy.
Possibly.
I mean, am I
Possibly,
showing
that's
my
the
age?
equivalent. Yeah. Also, we have no idea how offensive that has become since we last used it, right?
Risky disky. Mm-hmm. I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. Oh, can I have a biscuit?
No, can you just carry on?
Focus! Yeah, so she throws that around a lot, and that kind of fits in with the vibe, which is, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Literally aimed at everyone else, and Clint.
And she gets called out by the experts and everyone else for just her rudeness.
For giving herself too much credit, personality-wise.
Oh, that was a burn. Thanks, Mel.
Or as TJ goes, dang.
Yeah. Thanks, TJ.
Yeah. Keeping the quality reactions on tap.
Absolutely.
MVP.
So, Athena and Adrian are next. Oh, wait, Lauren and Clint leave.
And boy, do they leave.
Yeah, they literally just go. And the experts actually ask them to stay, and they're like, no.
Well, that's because Adrian says, now we don't want them. I'm like, I hate to say this, but yes, Adrian.
But I did want them, because I thought it would have been more dramatic. Yeah.
Who cares for anyone's mental health? Just throw them in there. I enjoyed that she wrote leaving the zoo. Yeah.
John gave her the opportunity to rewrite that verbally, and she just said that she would put leave, kiss, kiss, which does show some growth, I suppose.
Maybe.
We're never going to know because she's gone.
I assume that she remains terrible.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt where I can.
I know, it's infuriating sometimes.
Anyway, Athena and Adrian.
Yeah, benefit of the doubt, eh?
I know, they seem to be doing really well. They seem relaxed. They're both smiling uncontrollably. It's almost infectious smiling.
Yeah, I mean, she said that she was waxing lyrical about the fact that he was planning next weekend and it made her feel like he was really committed to the relationship. And I was just like, wow, that's how low your standards have been dragged at this point, that him saying that he's planning something for next weekend is a sign of fundamental commitment. How starved of consideration in this relationship is she?
Well, I want to be positive.
I can't. But to be fair to Adrian, he's like, we started off strong, and then it had bumps in the road. And I'm like, did you start strong? When was this?
Well, we didn't see it, did we? Because they had troubles almost immediately by the dinner party.
Which would imply
that they had troubles to work through. Anyhow, I thought that their whole interaction on the couch was really quite light-hearted. And it brought something that I didn't ever expect to see from them again.
Yeah, I suspect they went on a bit of a holiday. He showed her a modicum of interest and everything's better now.
Well, they did talk about having sex, didn't they?
Yep.
That seemed to make everything better.
Maybe he's got a magic dick.
Or maybe she's magical.
Well,
Did you ever think of that? No, you didn't.
Oh, well, I don't think of other women like that.
Right. Good save.
Woohoo!
They both stay.
Yeah. On to another couple that's challenging at times, but this time they continue the magic.
Your favourite couple, Ben.
Jackie and Ryan. Ooh, they've got a jingle.
Oh, no.
This was the Jackie Madcap tirade show.
Do you know what I think? You
No.
don't. I'm going to tell you.
No one knows what you think, Liv.
I think that she, in particular, was joking through a lot of serious stuff. And actually, the experts, and especially Alessandra, brings the serious tone to the serious stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that was what was needed. I was quite thrown off by her crying adjacent behaviour later on. But up until that point, I had been with her.
Were you with her on the whole, like, it's nice that he's complimenting my intellect now because everyone assumes I'm a model and no one ever asks me if I'm clever. I'm like, it's a weird humble brag. Is that a thing?
What do you mean?
Well, it just seemed a bit deluded, like, oh, everyone just assumes I'm a model, swish of the hair, so no one ever gives me a chance to be clever.
Honestly, I don't think anyone assumes she's a lawyer.
No. Well, it turns out she's not actually a lawyer.
Oh, right.
No, she's a non-practicing legal professional, has never practiced as a lawyer, and from what I understand, she has a qualification that basically you get by paying for it.
Oh.
So it's what her main employment is drop shipping jewellery.
Oh, really? That's
Yes.
very different from
I
what they put on her
know.
little caption.
I did some reading.
I can tell.
It came to me. I do lurk in them Reddits, but I try and avoid mostly because I don't want to get spoiled, because we are well behind the Australian airing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it just ties in with like this whole, like, I think she might have a slightly deluded perspective of her place in life.
But then Ryan's perspective is somewhat deluded as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was disappointed. I was sort of feeling better about Ryan. And then he brought about some of these more condescending terms that maybe edge on sexism.
Yes. But I was just like, well, why are we now calling out controlling behaviour? We've been fine with it up till this point. And now the experts are like, well, you two, not okay. I'm not saying it's okay. They should call it out, but I'd just like some consistency.
Well, maybe the experts have learnt as well. They are only human.
Fallible humans.
Yeah. But they seem to get to a good place by the end of their discussion.
Yeah, or as good a place as can be relied upon with Jackie and Ryan, because I suspect within 3 minutes they will have gone mad as a box of frogs again.
Well, John asks them to be open-minded, curious, and not defensive with each other over the next week.
Good luck with that.
They both stay.
On to Elliot and Veronica. No fun here.
No, they're sitting on very opposite ends of the sofa for their chat.
Tony and Marina-esque.
Yeah. And Veronica says that she's held back her personality. He's confused. I'm confused.
She has a personality?
Oh, Ben.
I'm being flippant, but yeah, it seemed to me like she was deliberately positioning this as, I've not been able to be real because of him. I'm the victim.
Yeah.
I've had to control myself.
Yeah, because she had a bit of a talking to by the experts last week. And then from his perspective, they've had a better week. So he's thinking, great, she's sort of learnt a few things, done some reflection. Now we're a bit better. And to hear that she feels that she's been holding back is very confusing for him.
Yeah, it's quite emotionally destabling for him, because he's like, oh, I can finally relax, we're getting somewhere. Oh, it was all a lie.
Yeah, it was all an act.
He looked very hurt.
Yes, he did.
He came into it hurt and became more hurt as it went along. But I will rag on the producers like I did earlier for the fake late entry thing. But they gave classic cut, because the experts asked Elliot, do you feel judged by Veronica? And he tentatively went, well, yes. And we immediately cut to her glaring at him, judging him very visibly. I was like, yes, good job.
I think the problem that this couple have is that they don't feel liked or desired by the other person.
Yeah, it's a bit of a theme, although I would counter and say that I think the problem that they have is Veronica.
Yes, I know you would. Anyway, they both stay, which doesn't seem to be a huge shock.
Yeah, I'm not hopeful.
Not hopeful, but they're here another week.
Yeah. When she wrote stay, the expression on her face and my perception of her made me think, are you just saying stay so you can stay on the show? I don't know. There's something off about her for me. My anxious senses are tingling.
You have a lot of senses.
No, they're often right.
Yes, that is disappointing for me. Anyhow, you expected to have TJ and Beth next, but we don't. We go to Ree and Jeff.
Jeffrey.
Yes. I don't like that.
We're so unified today.
We see a lot of empathy between them, which is really, really nice.
Hashtag couple goals.
Yeah. And they say that the drama this week has highlighted the care that he has, especially for her.
And that really comes across in the way he says things, not just what he says, but the way he says things, the way that they look at each other and the way they interact just screams connection and warmth.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of natural smiling between them. Like, they just can't help it. This is a real feeling.
It is. And it's a real shame that it doesn't count because they weren't married at first sight.
Oh my God.
So that's all I've written. They don't count. It's sad because they're the only effective ones. Maybe that says something about this experiment.
Yes, you could be right.
Yeah. Although Paul and Karina are the other ones, so we'll see. But yeah, they both stay. Shocking news.
And then we move on to TJ and Beth.
Yay. This wasn't as fun as I was expecting.
Well, they bring a real discussion and actually they uncover and unlock, I hope, something that will help them move forward.
Yeah, because she expresses that she doesn't feel he's attracted to her. And after a little bit of word salad, he very directly says, no, I am attracted to you. But I haven't been initiating any physical touch or anything because I feel like you're not in it.
Yeah.
And so hopefully hearing that directly between each of them will give them a clear path forward.
Yes, and the experts call this out as confusion in communication, and that does feel like a really good summary of what they've been experiencing.
On a purely selfish level, I need them to stay because their reaction shots are pure gold.
Yeah, well, they do seem to still be very much into each other. I think we can see that. Maybe they just can't see it in each other.
Yeah, I think it's a clear case of existing anxiety causing an impact. So this seems like an ideal situation to be able to be helped by the experts and by these couch sessions.
Yeah.
So let's all hope and prayers for TJ and Beth because they seem like real decent people.
Yes, and they both stay.
Yeah. And then we move on to our penultimate act, Karina and Paul.
I really liked this chat with Karina because the experts gave her a chance to talk and to say how she felt and what she actually meant as well.
Yeah, she started off by doubling down on Mean Girls, and I was just like, oh, that's going to cool everything down. Nice job.
Yeah, and Jamie does pipe up and get involved.
Yeah, but from that point on, I think proceedings clearly signpost to Jamie that she is going to have to do some humble pie eating.
Well, we don't get many cutaways to Jamie from this point, but the ones that we do see, you can see her finally hearing Karina and understanding her point.
Yeah, and I think she realises that the experts are not going to side with her on this, and she's going to be held accountable, and I think it dawns on her that actually I've done some wrong stuff here.
Yeah, but I feel like I want to give Jamie a bit more credit because I don't think she does it because the experts are going to come down. I think she does it because she can hear her friend expressing her, you know, vulnerable feelings.
And the impact that Jamie's behaviour has had in a way that she wasn't aware of before, like making her feel inadequate and thick and things like that. She might not have used the word thick, but like less in many ways. And that's, I was feeling really bad for her. The cuts that we do get to Jamie towards the end of this session are her looking sad and ashamed, I think.
And remorseful.
Yes.
Yeah. Because Karina talks about being insecure about her vocal expression on things, and her voice is shaking and you can sort of hear and see her emotion. John calls this out as well. And what I liked from Paul is that he is supporting her. He's squeezing her hand, he's squeezing her leg, he's showing her that he's there for her and that it's okay for her to be taking up this space.
Yeah, there's something about the way he carries himself and how, like, his sort of jittery hands and, like, touching her face and giving her, like, the machine gun kisses and stuff. I don't know, there's just something about it that makes me feel a bit weird.
I mean, I think he is somewhat insecure. And
Yeah.
he's acting a bit like a puppy dog. But
Yes.
I do feel that in this instance, it was supportive. And I feel like she almost needed that from him.
Yeah, from a practical perspective, like thinking about it from his perspective, he has done well out of this whole blow up because it's completely shifted focus off of him.
Yeah.
So, lucky him. But they both stay.
Yes, they do.
And then we move on to Jamie and Dave, the big one.
Yeah, now I was impressed with Jamie because the first thing she does is call herself out.
Yes.
We've never seen that before. But she sits there and she goes, I'm wrong and I did a bad thing. And I need to apologise.
And she does. She turns and sits forward on the sofa and directly speaks to Karina in what felt really heartfelt and honest way. She apologised not just in general, but for the specific things that it's made her feel. And she owned it multiple times.
Yeah.
And I think as an apology on television goes, I think that's as genuine and comprehensive as you're going to get.
Yeah, and I also felt that she gave us a bit more context for how she'd got there, because she says that she had felt shamed and humiliated by Lauren, and it seems like Lauren specifically said to her, where are your friends?
Oh, yeah, and I felt that in my soul. Like, the moment I was like, yeah, I can see that has just got through all the armour, all the defences, and hit her right at her core.
Yeah.
And because Lauren stormed off at various points, she's got this rage, hurt, shame, all of these negative emotions that need an outlet. And her way of outletting it is to attack someone. And the person that she needs to go at isn't there. And it turns and metastasizes to her friends.
Yeah.
And as the expert said, Lauren wins, because that is definitely what Lauren was after.
Yeah. But as you say, she does give a really lovely apology. And actually, it made me really emotional. I could feel my eyes welling up and I thought, oh my God.
I was the same. I was like, oh my God, this is touching me in ways I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. It was a lovely moment. You don't see things like that on TV very often.
I'm really hoping that when we come to the next dinner party, we see that her and Karina are still friends. Like, they've managed to rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after this, they move on to looking at Jamie and Dave's relationship. And, it was heartbreaking and it all goes downhill. And I hate that you've been right. And
I know. I'm not pleased that I'm right, but I am right. And I am a bit smug, but it's sad. Because she tells everyone that she's told Dave that she loves him directly.
Yeah.
And they cut to show Dave, and he looks terrified.
Yes.
He's anxious.
He also
and
looks
scared.
guilty.
And then they ask him, like, can you see yourself getting in that direction? And he dodges the shit out of that question.
And you said at the time that Jamie rescues him from having to explain this further.
Yeah, she steps in and goes, well, like, he doesn't have to say it. I know with his actions and the way he's going, he will get there. And he's looking like, I am trapped. I am stuck. I think she's trying to prevent him saying, I don't.
You think she knows on some level?
Oh, obviously. Like, he basically said it. Because when they said, can you? He said, like, well, you know, sometimes if you participate in the process and everything, you might not fall in love. I'm like, wow. What an answer.
Yeah.
So he looked terrified, guilty, and cornered.
And we saw a lot of self-soothing behaviours in him. He was sort of flicking his finger, with his hand. He was skin picking a bit later on.
Jittering his leg.
Yeah, lots of stimming from him.
I bet that man was sweating like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, it was really uncomfortable.
It was so sad.
It was an emotional roller coaster this time.
Yeah.
And even at the end, when they sort of suddenly cut to let's do decisions, she's like, yeah, I'm glad to be getting off of this sofa. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, let's save that for another day.
I had so much secondhand anxiety, discomfort. I am not optimistic.
Well, they both stay for now.
Yeah.
And then we get an insight that next week is going to be a partner swap. And it looks like Jamie asks Adrian, who are now paired up, if he thinks their relationship is going to last. And he's very honest and he says no. And I'm so intrigued as to what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, because it seemed like he took a moment to go, should I tell her the truth?
Yeah.
He did. I am confused by this transformation of Adrian, who is gone from 0 to...
bloody hero.
I mean, I don't...
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? Is Adrian suddenly this like all-seeing expert on everyone's relationship?
Yeah. He's done a lot of learning. I think this is what it's showing.
I suppose it just goes to show you can be a dickhead and be right.
Or that.
But I'm fascinated now to see what it's going to be like when we get to the next dinner party, because we're not going to see anything in between.
I know, I'm so gutted that we're not going to watch it, but I'm thinking at the end I might go back and watch the partner swap week.
You won't. We'll see plenty of flashbacks to it at the beginning, in the lead up.
Okay.
To next dinner party. I like that we're just going to jump forward. I mean, who knows? We might have lost couples by next time.
Oh my god, yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
I mean, maybe we'll just come back and find that couples have actually swapped.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't think so, but here we are.
Adrian's collected women like he's collected smirks. I don't know. I'm chatting nonsense.
You are. I'm going to cut you off. What did you rate it?
I rated it a thoroughly enjoyable 7 dangs out of 7.
Thanks, TJ, for that nice quote.
Yes, credit TJ, copyright, trademark.
So 7 out of 7.
7 out of 7.
Nice. I've gone 10 out of 10.
Oh, dang.
I know. I just felt it was really wholesome.
Holy hell, have we rated it similarly? In fact, identically?
Yes.
That's never happened.
No.
We're unified.
I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I was so close to knocking points off because I'm baffled by Adrian and sad for Jamie and Dave. But I must confess, this was engaging from start to finish. It went so quick. We spent over half an hour on Clint and Lauren.
Yeah.
And the hits just kept on coming.
Yeah.
And I am so looking forward to next episode.
Me too.
I didn't think I'd say that a few weeks ago when I was going, I might be done.
When we were in the weeds with it, yeah.
When Adrian was doing Adrian things.
Yeah. And here we are, and it's going well, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I do need Jackie to step up more.
Nah, I'm quite happy with her input. Thank you very much. And on that note...
That's all, folks.
If you have the time, we would really appreciate it if you could rate, review, and subscribe. It would really mean a lot to us. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Toodles.